Okay, today I am working on a Makita. This is a Makita reciprocating saw. I've had this saw for years, and I like using it. I have a couple of battery ones, but the batteries run down. I have to keep recharging, so telemarketer trying to call me on my other phone. So yesterday it started getting so bad that when I pulled the trigger, it wouldn't run, and would have to wiggle the cord. So I didn't video repairing the cord, but I repaired it by I removed the cord from the switch. They had a couple of quick connects on the ends of the wires, and I took my meter and tested the wires, and I didn't have continuity in the white wire. There was continuity in the black wire, so there was a shortage in it somewhere. And I took my chances and just cut off about 4 inches of the end of this wire that went into the machine, and then stripped them back and reattached them. And it seems to be working fine now. But the problem I'm going to work on now is that when they built this item, this protector right here is a little too long, and when you put this into the case, you have to really put the cord in a bind right there, and over the years it eventually wears out right there, and that was the start of my problem. Not only did it put it in a bind there, as you can see, it puts it in a bind up here. Actually, up here is where the short actually occurred, and didn't occur down here. But it's all due to this protector being too long. So my thought today, even though it's got a little bubble or something on the end of this protector, I'm going to take it apart, and I'm going to cut that protector off about 3/4 of an inch up the line there. Just take my razor blade and cut it off, and I don't see that it would hurt anything. It won't have this little neck on the end of it here, but I don't think that little neck on the end of it serves any purpose. More cosmetic, I think, than anything. And I thought about putting a right angle protector on it. They make them where they bend in a right angle, but that wouldn't function too well out there in the real world when I'm trying to use it, to have the wire coming out at an angle like that. So I think my best bet is to, let's just take off about 3/4 of an inch there. So it's pretty simple getting into this. I call it a sawzall. You basically have 4 screws that I'm going to remove. 4 screws, they're Phillips heads, and I'm going to take those out. Okay, once you take those 4 out, which I have removed them, this pretty simply lifts up and comes off there. And this is the 3rd time I've been in here, so it's coming off real easy now. First time I did it, I had to use, I used my little box cutter and kind of separated it, got it in there and separated a little bit and give it a little encouragement to come off. But now you see, this is all you got on the inside. You got the protector, which is right there, which is on the outside of the wire. It's got this keeper that keeps you from pulling the wire out of the switch when you're using it. And then you got the switch. The switch just lays in there. Fortunately, they got a switch that doesn't come all to pieces every time you touch it. And it's got these 2 screws that keep the electric wire in, noticing that the white wire is closer to the motor, so that we'll put them back in the right direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these 2 screws and those 2 screws, so I can get to the protector and take the protector off the wire and cut it. Okay, once you've removed the screws, pretty much looks like this. It had this keeper on the wire right there that applies pressure so that you won't pull the wire out when you're using it. And so I removed the 2 screws up here. I've done everything basically with this 1 screwdriver. I did use my box cutter kind of to open up the cover when it was the first time. But now this all comes loose now. It's all loose. Now I'm just gonna pull these 2 wires out of the hole. They just, after you take those screws out, you can pull those wires out. And the wires are out. So that's the way they went in. That's the way they come out. You can put them back in real easy. Then this little job, it comes right off. So there's that thing that is too long. So this fits in here. It's too long. So we're going to see what luck we have with shortening this. That'll give me enough room for the wire to turn, and I can tuck it into the case and close the lid on my case without cramping the wire real bad. What I'm going to do is attempt to take the box cutter and go around that thing and cut it off. Okay, that's what it looks like now. I took the little box cutter and dissected that piece off of it right there. So now it's shorter. I'm going to put it on. Okay, I've reattached the 2 screws up here. Got the white wire back in there where it belongs, the black wire. These 2 screws I had to reinstall. This is the keeper to keep that wire, and there's the protector that's I've got, and it's cut off short here, shorter. So I'm going to put the cover back on now and see what happens. Okay, cover's back on. This has been shortened. Now when you put the cord in, it doesn't have a hard kink in it. And what happens is the cord all tucks into this compartment up here. And so maybe with one hand I can cram it all in there for you. Give you an idea. It all kind of just swirls all up in there. Best you can. Get the cord all in there like it's supposed to be, more or less. And see, now you got a little room to breathe here. It's not so cramped. So chances are that will not occur again anytime soon. However, I have been using this thing about 20 years off and on, and it's been wearing out all that time. And I was not the first owner. I inherited this thing on a swap that I made for some other stuff. So I don't really know how old this item is. I can't give you a serial number or model number, nothing like that. But it's a Makita. Now the case closes real nicely. I don't have to cram it in there. And it's a Makita. Makita. I keep calling it Makita. It's a Makita. But I like it. It's a little workhorse, and that's all there is to that.